My friends, this is a great time to become a channel member. Every week now I'm posting uncensored videos exclusively for my channel members, along with custom emojis and live streams for members at the Arch-Villain level where you get to talk to me directly. Please consider supporting this channel by clicking the link in the video description and joining us in our fight to save pop culture. And also, check out our Patreon and Subscribe-Star pages for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, including Harvey Cthulhu's insane podcasts, photos of my vast toy collection, and members at the Legionnaire level receive a signed photo, membership card, and certificate signed by me. You'll find the Patreon link in the video description as well. Thanks for watching, my friends, and now on to the video. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, broadcasting from my hidden base at the center of the Earth, and I am here today to share my thoughts on the new Fantastic Four First Steps trailer that released earlier this morning, and in particular, we need to talk about the Silver Surfer, or rather, the Silver Surfette, because holy crap, this is 2025 the last time I checked. Shouldn't Marvel's new Silver Surfette look at least as good as Fox's Silver Surfer back in 2007? Given the higher level of computing power and, presumably, nearly 18 years more experience in creating special effects? And what of the Fantastic Four themselves? Are they going to get a fair shake in this outing, or is this going to be yet another abject failure at capturing the lightning in a bottle unleashed by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in 1962? Well, my friends, my Hollywood spies have contacted a source who claims to have seen a test screening of Fantastic Four First Steps, and although they weren't comfortable giving away specific spoilers, they had a bit in general to say overall about the movie, and we'll be sharing that here with you as well. We'll get to that in a minute. But let's go ahead and walk you through the trailer and share our thoughts on it.
Hey man, I could give you my thoughts on it right now, but the problem is, it put me to sleep. I'll be interested in your recap, and I may have some comments then, but yeah, initial thought, a dynamic, exciting trailer. This is not, in my view. I find myself rather undecided on this. Certainly, this is better than the first teaser trailer, and at least we do see some interesting glimpses of action, like Ben Grimm crashing through the pillars. We see a tiny bit more of Galactus, and unfortunately, the Silver Surfette, who is not unlike Smurfette, only silver, and about as narratively compelling.
Well, gentlemen, let's look at what we got this time around, then go over what our test screening source told my Hollywood spies. So the trailer opens up during the TV broadcast of an Ed Sullivan-like show promoting 4 astronauts who went up into space and returned safely. 4 astronauts the host calls the Fantastic Four. They come out on stage in their uniforms to thunderous applause, and it shows a whole bunch of different groups of people singing their praises, saying, "Thank you, Fantastic Four." So, these guys are media celebrities in this movie, kind of like Liz and Dick times 4, extremely famous and revered, and this, at least, is in keeping with the comic book stories of the period. The Fantastic Four are indeed media sensations in those early stories. They get profiled and interviewed, which is a very realistic situation and a good example of why Lee and Kirby were so successful in creating the Marvel Universe. They did their best to ask, well, what would it really be like if superheroes existed? They'd be media stars. They'd have romantic problems, personal problems, money problems sometimes. So the trailer gets credit for adhering to that convention. So far, so good. So is it time for some action yet? No, not yet. First we have, once again, mild-mannered Ben Grimm cooking with Herbie in the kitchen. Good Lord. We have Johnny at the dinner table accusing Sue Storm of being late for dinner. Sue appears flustered by the accusation, and then Ben guesses it. Is Sue pregnant? Congratulations all around, and I don't know about this. I mean, sure, it's a nice enough scene. It's genial and warm, has a little bit of humor in it. It's a fine scene for the movie, I guess, and yet, this is a trailer, folks. This is supposed to get us excited about the movie. And my complaint about this scene is, while it may be genial and warm and humorous, In my opinion, it's not genial and warm and humorous enough to take up this much time in a short trailer. I mean, the whole motherhood angle with Sue, this is all very domestic and normal, but it's a bit too normal for a superhero trailer. Sue expresses to Pedro, "We can do this. Nothing's going to change," obviously reassuring him about parenthood, and at this point, we're 1 minute and 8 seconds into a 2 minute and 40-something second trailer, and holy shit, folks, this is not lighting my fire in a Door-esque way. It's not bad, it's not awful, it's just meh. So far in this trailer, I'm getting a watch it in a year on cable when they're running it on an endless loop on TNT kind of vibe. Is this enough to put butts in seats in theaters this summer?
Yes, but it's right about now that the action begins. Things do pick up a bit at this point.
Yeah, it picks up, but where does it lead? We see a light show in the sky, everyone looks kind of scared, looking up at what's going on, and boom goes the wet firecracker. We see our first glimpse of the Silver Surfette. And son of a bitch, are they kidding? I have to wonder if these are temp effects that they just ran out of time, they had to put something up there, and the real Silver Surfette is still rendering somewhere, because, folks, this looks shoddy as shit. Seriously? This is what we're getting? Folks, first off, the Silver Surfer was named Norrin Radd, and he was a dude. This is what he's supposed to look like from his appearance in 2007 in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. I mean, look at how much better this is than this. I'm guessing this is their version of Frankie Ray, aka Nova, who Galactus recruited as a herald to replace Norrin Radd when he defected and turned on Galactus to help save Earth. But Frankie in the comics was almost always surrounded by a flame-like effect and was golden and didn't really do the whole surfboard thing. She just flew around without needing a surfboard, so she really wasn't much of a Silver Surfer at all when you get right down to it, more like a golden burner. So let's call this what it is, another gender swap, a kind of mashup of Frankie Ray and Norrin Radd, done in what looks in this trailer to be some very sketchy special effects.
Has Marvel learned nothing from their mistakes? WT actual F! They must know people are sick of all the gender swaps, all the presentism, all the revisions and reimaginings. They're about to gamble big time on the biggest budget ever for Avengers Doomsday, so this is the time to get it right, to lay the foundation, to give audiences what they want, get people enthused about the MCU again. And this is what we get? Pedro Pascal's mustache, gentle cookin' Ben Grimm, milquetoast Johnny, and Sue less than Stormy? This is literally crazy shit, man.
People online are ragging all over Silver Surfette, not just the gender swap, Marvel had to know that was coming, but also just the way she looks on a basic fundamental level. I imagine and hope that this will all be fixed by the release date in July. I mean, how hard can this be, folks? Just a female figure textured all over in reflective silver riding a surfboard. This can't be that hard to get right. Jeez, it sucks, folks. It sucks bad. On the other hand, Galactus, at least on the surface, seems promising. It'll be good to see him done right for a change, not being a damn cloud. That's always a mistake. Having a villain be a damn cloud always sucks. Of course, we've only seen Galactus' shadow and his foot, but at least the scale seems about right. But what does our source tell us, who alleges he saw a test screening of the movie? At this point, I must state that what I'm about to share with you is information provided to me by a source claiming knowledge of the situation, but since I cannot personally confirm any of this, I'm presenting it as unverified rumor, and I ask you to please take it with a grain of salt. So my Hollywood spies contacted me with feedback from a source who claims to have seen a test screening, and here's what they said, summarizing his feedback, quote, "Well, it seems that we were right. This is Sue's movie. Also, our source was comparing this movie to the previous movies, not the comics. According to this source, the movie is meh. It does have good spots, but just as the movie starts to really feel good, Pedro or Johnny makes some snide remark, and quote, "I'd roll my eyes," unquote, says the source. Source says, at best, this is 5, maybe 6 out of 10. Quote, "The music didn't fit. Galactus was a real issue with me. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys because it's going to make you not want to go, and you need to see this movie. They had a good idea, but somehow just completely missed the mark. Pedro was the worst choice by far. Maybe I'm jaded," unquote.
Yeah, well, it seems obvious from the trailer Sue is kind of the leader of the FF here. She's the one holding them all together, expressing confidence, saying, "We will do this as a family," reassuring Reed about becoming parents. Pedro Pascal, on the other hand, when confronted by reporters asking, "Are we safe?" he looks spooked and says, "I don't know." He says there's not enough time, on and on. In other words, he's pretty defeatist, and it's Sue who's shown to have the backbone here, so yeah, I'd say it's looking like Sue is the leader here without a doubt.
It's weird that this source had nothing to say about the Silver Surfette. Either that or my spies simply omitted that reaction from what they shared with me for some reason. I've asked follow-up questions about the Silver Surfette, and if I get more answers, I'll share them with you. But I think it's telling. They had problems with Galactus, but didn't want to spoil that, and given Galactus, Silver Surfette, and Pedro Pascal are all in this movie, this source said Pedro was the worst choice by far. So, I guess we'll see for ourselves in July when this thing hits theaters, but right now it seems like our fears are only being validated, and any hopes we had this might be good are wearing thin. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.